Hi, folks and friends on YouTube. Thanks for being here. I'm Still Dreaming is my channel, and this video is going to be a post-Easter vlog video and a Miss Lydia update. So I'm starting off with my Easter decorations I have here on my my refrigerator. As you can see, they're just refrigerator magnets. So, but this is the collection that I have, and I've actually had it for a really long time now. And what I like to try to do is group the magnets together, the ones that are somewhat similar. Like these are just two rabbits with just with one carrot. And then I thought, okay, well, these are the two white rabbits, so I put them together, and they both have carrots. And then this is just a little magnetic notepad, and it says egg siding, and then there's the chicks, and then I had this chick coming out of his Easter egg, and then this is another, just a little writing tablet, and I was just trying to group the colors together here, the purples and the pink and the greens and the blues. So that's that. And then coming over here this way, I have to hurry because I have the house free all to myself right now, and so I got to hurry up and do this before I get interrupted. This I showed in my last video. It was just a real simple decoration with the supplies from the Dollar Tree, which was just the basket and then the grass and then the eggs too. And then I had this little light decoration inside the basket. And you can look at the last video that I made, and it's in that video. And then so I have my two stuffed animals here, my rabbit and my duck. And then I have this, I found, everything is from the thrift store over time. So I found this carrot. I'm not sure what that's called. This, it's like the stuff they use to make wreaths for the doors. Anyway, the carrot, and then this, that little basket with the yellow eggs is from the Dollar Tree from a few years ago. This is just a little movable rabbit. He moves with a little wooden carrot. And then that ceramic, the two rabbits kissing, the mother and the baby rabbit, or the bunny, that came from, it's got a little bit of a few nicks in it. That came from Marshall's like 2 years ago. And then the little floral is from the Dollar Tree. I've had that for a few years. This thing I bought new this year, the little furry rabbit with the blue eyes, or the brown, or the hazel eyes. And then this is a paperweight made of lead crystal, and it's shaped like a rabbit. And then this is a craft thing that we did 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I had a little Easter party, and we did this thing for craft, for a craft activity, and it was making a sheep out of wool, yarn, and then the clothespins. The little eggs are clothespins that you paint. See that? They're just clothespins. And so anyway, then these florals are from my room. And then I have these two wooden rabbits that I found separately. I did not find these together. And this one was a real light wood, and I dyed it with I stained it with wood stain, so it matched this one better. And then this I've had for a long time. This was in my daughter's very first Easter basket that I ever made for her, and it's a little jewelry box, and it says Lamb of God on it. And then I have another sprig of the greenery. Then I have, this is a marble, it's very heavy. It's a marble Easter egg, and it's very heavy. And then the little wooden plaque of the church, I found that at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. And the little lamb is from a thrift store. And this little tin is also from a thrift store. I've had this for a really long time. Believe it or not, I used this in my son's very first Easter basket, and that was in 1996. So he was born in January 96, so this was his first Easter, and this was in his basket. I have little candies in there right now. And then the lamb actually is very vintage because I found out that I was born in 1963, so in October, and then so that December 1963, that Christmas, my mother found this cookie jar of the lamb. It says for good little lambs only, and she bought it and she gave it to my grandmother for Christmas, but she told my grandmother that it was a Christmas gift, but that it was from me, and I was her first granddaughter and her first grandchild. First grandchild and first granddaughter together. And so my grandmother had this, and then when I turned 24, my grandmother, she still had it, and she re-gifted it. She gifted it back to me and told me the story, the backstory, because I hadn't heard any of that, and I didn't know any of that backstory about it being a Christmas gift to her from me that year, 1963, when I was born. So she gave it back to me, and I've had it ever since, and I'm 61 now, so I've had it all these years. So it's very vintage. It's real cute, isn't it? It's a cookie jar, and it says for good little lambs only. Now the little bead necklace I found at a thrift store, and I just clipped it there on the side. So that's my my decorations here on this table I have here in my dining room area. This I got this year. This was from the Dollar Tree, and this is a wreath that I made. I had little lights on it, but I took the lights off to use for something else. And I put this little wind chime on it, so it sounds pretty when we open and close the door. And this is my wreath from outside. I made this myself, and I've had it for several years now. So that's that. And then over here in this corner, I just have this little Easter basket, and then there's a little tiny rabbit, Peter Cottontail, and this little watering can I found one time at the thrift store. I think I better take that out and put that out. Put it like that. So that's all I have here in this corner. And then, I wanted to show these balloons for a reason. I'll talk about the balloons in a minute. And then this is where I have the TV here in the living room. And so what I did was I put some lights. Here, I'll go slow. So I put lights. And a few years ago, I found this garland at a thrift store. And it's these foiled Easter eggs. So I put the lights with the garland across the top. Oh, I have this Sharpie for a reason. And then I sprinkled in a few little Easter animals. These rabbits, I got that a few years ago from the 99-cent store, which we don't have that store anymore. And then that's from my child care, the little fabric lamb. That's from some of my toys from when I had my child care room. And then that's a picture of my niece Olivia when she was a little girl. And then I found these little ducks, these little yellow cotton ball ducks. And then that chick I found a while back at the thrift store. And then this is a little rabbit salt and pepper shaker. And there's another chick. And there's a cow, a little wooden cow. This is so cute. Look at. I found this at the thrift store and I said, oh, that's so cute. Wait. See? It's one of those wooden toys when you press on the inside and he falls down, or he sits down, or he lays down. And then there's another little pink chick. That's a wind-up bun. See the little wind-up? And then this is just a little wooden bunny racing. He's racing a little Easter egg. And then this I found at the thrift store. This is actually a pig. See, because he has a snout, so he's a pig, but he's wearing Easter. He's wearing bunny ears. And then also too, there's this one brown bunny here, fabric. So that's there. And then of course, if you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, that Pope Francis passed away the day after Easter Monday, and oh, Robert.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is my my mini memorial to Pope Francis, and so I have scripture there, Matthew 16:18, and then I have a beautiful plaque of Jesus there, and then a vase with some branches from my eucalyptus tree, and then back in the back, let's see if it'll focus. Well, it's not focusing, but it's, oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's the book that I have. It was written by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It's St. Francis of Assisi. And then I have my faux candlelights from TikTok, and there's a picture of Pope Francis, and there's St. Francis. All right, so, oh God. I wanted to show you guys this. I redid my sign. Sorry, I had to stop talking because I got interrupted. So yeah, so that was a tour of my Christmas decorations, and I wanted to just real quickly talk about some of the games that we played together. So I had a very small get-together Sunday, Easter Sunday. We got together about 5 o'clock in the evening, and ate, of course, and played games. So I can't go over all the games, but I can go over some of the games. So see, I wrote them here. So okay, so this is just to give people ideas, you know. I find that when you have a little get together, if you have 1 or 2 or 3 little games planned, they end up having a lot of fun. They really do. They laugh and they have a great time. So so I was teasing them, and I told them that the first thing I was going to do was have an icebreaker, because I was teasing them, and I said, because, you know, since we none of us knows each other very well, which, come on, I mean, come on, we've been in each other's lives for 40 years more. So anyway, they all kind of just rolled their eyes, and they knew I was just like messing with them. But anyway, so I had this book that I found one year at the thrift store, and it's World's Greatest Collection of Church Jokes. So I looked for something that was Catholic related, and I read that to them, and they didn't really appreciate it the way I appreciated it, but you know, that's fine. Oh, and then I want to mention though, first of all, before we started playing games, we ate. But before we ate, we stood in a circle. We formed a circle in the living room, and then I read a prayer from this book, which is a book of graces for all occasions. I found this one here at a thrift store too, and so it covers pretty much every possible occasion you could ever think of. See, look at all the different prayers that they have. See that? Saints prayer, purpose in life, prayer for a home, family prayer, see, celebrations, seasonal graces, and for the holidays, and for family gatherings. And anyway, I found a really pretty prayer in here for Easter. So we formed a circle and joined hands, and I read this prayer, and then we ate, and then we started playing the games. So the first thing I did, like I said, teasing them, said I was going to read from this book of church jokes, and like I said, they didn't get it. So then, oh, this is a game that it's kind of like what you could say like a variation on the game. I remember we used to play this game at baby showers, and they would pass around like a little tiny bottle, like a little tiny tiny toy bottle on a ribbon, and everyone got one, and then everybody needed to put it around their neck and let it hang, and then nobody was allowed to say a buzzword like, baby, for example. Where chances are at a baby shower, chances are people are going to say the word baby. So how the game works is, or how you play the game is, if you happen to hear another person there at the party, and they slip up and you hear them say the word baby, then you can take their little necklace away from them. And then at the end of the game, or at the end of the night, when the baby shower's over, the party's over, the one that has the most little bottles or little rattles or whatever you use is the winner. So I thought of playing something like that. So I had gotten strawberries that day, or the day before, and they came in these 3 plastic, these are strawberry baskets. So I tied ribbon to each basket, and 3 people, we drew names, and 3 of them got to play this game. And this one I called it to spoof a little, I called it a tisket, a tasket, hand over your basket. So the game was, if you hear the person that's wearing this around the neck, and you happen to hear that person say the word basket, then they have to hand over their basket to you. And then at the end of the night, whoever has one, or if you happen to have one of these around your neck, then you're one of the winners. Okay, so there was that. And then the other game was Peter's Cottontails. Okay, so that one I assembled ahead of time. This is a vintage Tupperware container, and inside of it is a little a blindfold to cover your eyes, because you have to be blind to play this game. And then it's full of these cotton balls, which are supposed to be Peter's cotton balls. And so you spread these out on the floor in front of you, like if you guys are playing on a carpet area, and then you spread all the cotton balls all over very well. And then they're given a spoon, and they're blindfolded with this. And the idea is, the one that scoops the most cotton balls off of the area where you have them all spread out. So the one that scoops up the most cotton balls and puts them back into the tub is the winner of that game. So some of you might know what I'm talking about. That's pretty. It's fun. They had a lot of fun playing that. And then I Spy. Okay, you know how I did a quick go around of my decorations in the kitchen and the living room? Well, I had them all I gave them all a piece of paper and a small pencil, and I gave them so much time to go around the house, just well, the living room and the dining room and the kitchen, and count how many rabbits, how many ducks, how many you know chicks, and how many there was lambs and chicks and ducks and rabbits, and so I am forgetting the other ones. But anyway, so that game was kind of confusing. That one kind of was a little bit of a fail, but I was trying to you know, for Easter you have the Easter egg hunt, so I was trying to think of a game that was similar to an Easter egg hunt, and that's what I came up with. The game number 5 is called Hippity Hoppity, and all that was one time I had found this box of questions for, like, for example, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? Okay, so these are all questions, but they're like questions for, like, I don't know, maybe 3rd and 4th graders, perhaps, maybe fourth, 5th, 6th graders. You know, they're simple questions, but they're conversation cards. See, they're called conversation cards, a great tool for strengthening relationships and family. So I was gonna have them. Everybody got a chance to answer the question. So I was gonna. We didn't play this game because we ended up running out of time. So so the idea was that I was going to read the question, and then the one that could answer the question had to, the first one to raise their hand because they had an answer to the question. Then I would say, okay, Olivia. But what Olivia had to do, what she was going to have to do was hop over to the box and then take out one of these sticks, which we were going to say these are carrots, just to be extra silly. So I said we were going to call these carrots. So I would read the question. If you knew the answer, you raised your hand, and I would say, okay, Rosalie. So then Rosalie would have to hop to the box to get a carrot. And then at the end of the game, the player with the most carrots, after we're out of the carrots, then the game's over. Okay, so, oh shoot, my battery's going. The other game I thought of was similar to the one about if you heard them say the word basket, they had to give over their little basket. So this is similar to that. I was just going to call it buzzwords, but like the Easter edition. So I only have 4, so I was going to give 4 players, and then the buzzword would duck. So, you know, the same way that I played the this game with the Easter baskets. I was just calling that Buzzwords but Easter Edition. And then the next game I came up with was this, which was a jelly bean toss. So I had these knee-high socks that I got, a pair of these knee-highs one time at the Dollar Tree, and I still had them. I hadn't worn them yet, so they were brand new. So I made 4, these are beans. These are filled with pinto beans. I made 4 little jelly, I called them jelly bean bags. And then I have 4 of these plates, 4 of these little paper plates. And then I lined these up on a bench in front of us, you know, like this, you know, 4 of them. I spread them out of 4. And then they had to step back a certain, they all had to stand on a little tiny doormat that I had. So we said that was the marker, so they couldn't get off the marker. So they all had a chance to toss the jelly bean bags. So they had a lot of fun with that. And then the last thing was this is the last thing that we did, and I want to especially make it a point. So one time at the thrift store I found not in this little burlap bag. They were in a box. But what they were these coins with Bible scripture on the back, okay? They're not real. They're tokens, but they're heavy. And like, see, look at, like, I'll show you. Now this one has like an eagle, but on the reverse, it's I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then like this one is the sun and then a cross with the clouds. And then this one on the back, it says, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. That's Hebrews 11:1. And then there was another one, but I don't know if I can find it. I might not be able to, because no, I don't. There was one other design. Anyway, so the game was I had these, and there's 30 of them. There's 30 of them. So we all sat down on the floor in a circle, and I had everybody pass this around, and I told them to take a minute, just to take a quick moment to feel how heavy it is, and don't look inside, but listen to it and touch it, and, you know, just kind of, you know, it's kind of easy to figure out what it is, but I said you couldn't look inside. So anyway, okay, so everybody went around the circle, and then it got back to me. So then they were just kind of looking at me like, okay, what are you going to say now? So I told them that Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed Jesus, that he betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. And so that's what this is. I told him, now here's the 30 pieces of silver. And then what I did was I spread it all around in front of us. And I told him that we were going to talk about Jesus. And if you could share something, anything at all, you can share to the group something that you know about Jesus, then you could take one of the silver coins, and then at the end, the person with the most, the player with the most coins said the most, you know, talked the most about Jesus and shared the most about Jesus than the other players, and so that means that person would be the winner. And it ended up being it was surprising because they surprised me. They were actually like saying things about Jesus, like his age when he was crucified, and some of the miracles that he performed, like raising Lazarus, and different things, you know, different things, that he was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights before he began his ministry, and that he was baptized by John the Baptist, and just, so anyway, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then I think this video is getting too long and my battery is low now, so I'm going to close this video, and then the next video will be about just a little update I wanted to share with everybody about Miss Lydia. She was the elderly lady that lived here with us for 2 years, and she's not here with us anymore. Oh, and then before I say before I close this video, it's good too when you're playing party games to have a little sand timer to keep track of the time. Like if you're playing a game and you're giving them 1 minute, a whistle is good to have to get them to either start or stop, and then little pencils in case you have a game that everybody has to write their name or tally something. And then two, it's good to have a little post-it note just in case, you know. Anyway, all right, you guys, so I'm gonna close now. I'm watching the Easter Bunny is coming to town.
Everybody in town.
All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Why don't you? Because I always have to.